Yes. So we have another great story coming on up. So Jasim and his son, I didn't catch his name, but let's see.
Thank you very much. So my wife and my daughter are there too, but they have stage fright, so they don't want to come up.
That's totally fine. We can point them out. So Jasim and Shafaq and your son?
Hamza.
Nice to meet you. All right, so give us some background. What's your
Sure.
company?
So back in 2012, our family had a rental house. So we actually used to live in that house, moved out of the house, owned by my dad, right? We wanted to rent it out because we had already had paid it off. My dad had already paid it off and everything. So we rented it out. We didn't know much about rental real estate. So I was hearing, Dell on the radio, Lifestyles on the radio. And I was like, we should learn something about, the best practices of rental real estate. So I told my brother, he's there too right now. I told my brother about it, and he was like, yeah, let's go check it out. We came for the case study, and we heard the stories, we heard the case studies. And, I was very, very skeptical. Dell talks about type A personalities and type B, right? So my brother, he's like a type A, right? Very aggressive. He wants to jump into things. I'm type B, like very, very like apprehensive of everything, So he was like, I'm gonna sign up. I'm like, maybe this is a scam. This is, it's too good to be true. So he went ahead and bought his membership, right? So I was like, okay, if you want to do that, that's fine. And then I don't remember exactly how it happened, but I think he bought my membership too. And I was like, hey, I'm gonna buy you one too. And so we basically came for the 2-day class. We were basically like eyes opened up. And then so we basically, both of us wanted to do it together. So I think the first deal, he was very aggressive. So he started contacting all these agents and everything. We bought he came across a deal which was 4 houses together. And I'm like, hey, this is too much, don't do this, right? And so he's like, no, let's do this. So we went ahead and, put the bid in, got accepted. We got scared. We ended up buying 3 out of the 4. And then, furthermore, we added more. I think we ended up going to 6 or 8 houses. This was back from 2012, 2013. And then, the market went up, prices went up, 2014, 15. So we were like, okay, they're all rented out, 5, 6 properties. So we started selling them, right? Sold them all, got rid of them, got all the equity capture that we had, got the money back and everything. And then, we went into a lull, didn't do anything with, real estate. And then, he got busy in his business. I was in consulting, worked for EY for about almost 10, 11 years. So got busy with work and everything. EY, by the way, is an accounting firm. So I was, accounting consulting is my background. And then back in 2019, right before COVID hit, I was like, okay, I got to get back into this. I got to multiply my wealth or whatever, right? And so I asked him, he's like, no, I'm too busy with my business. You go ahead and do it. He actually renewed his membership. I renewed my membership, but he was like, I'm too busy, so you go ahead and do it. So I went ahead and bought my first property back in 2020, right when COVID hit. And as everyone got scared, I got scared too. I was like, maybe this was not the right time. Maybe I got into it into the wrong time. Because when I met the contractor, it was. I met him, I was standing here, he was standing right there because everybody was wearing masks, and like, hey, everybody needs to be socially distanced and all of that. And that's, I got restarted into the real estate investing. I bought my first one again in 2019, and then kept adding on, and I'm at property number 10 now, trying to get my 11th one.
Cool. So you've got 10 properties right now, and the property we're looking at today is which one? Is it the 10th one?
I think it's 4th or 5th. I can look it up. One? I have a spreadsheet.
I was just curious. See, you lose track after a while, right?
5th one. 5th. Actually, no, 4th one. 4th.
I love it. Yeah, you lose track, right? So you heard Dell on the radio,
yep.
and that's how you got started?
Yep. So I kind of went over all of your slides, right? I kind of did my whole spiel there, right?
All right, so let's jump into the property.
So this property was actually not that bad. I mean, this was one of the ones that was decent. I mean, it doesn't look too bad on the left, right? I mean, you wouldn't probably live in it, but you know, it was decent. The only bad thing in this one was it had water damage, like not flooding. I think one of the pipe had burst or something. So there was water damage. You could see it on the sheetrock. And then in one part of the house, you could see a little mold. So that was a little surprising, right? I was like, okay, you know, is it good to have or not? I think this one was brought on by John Johnson was the agent. I don't know if you have that on there or not.
Later on.
So it was, I mean, the rehab wasn't too bad. I think I spent about $37,000 on it. I didn't take too many, you know, these are pictures from my phone, not professional pictures, so you can't really see, but it went from, you know, here to here in terms of like the type of rehab we did.
Right. Well, we saw what a $75,000 rehab looks like. So this was about a $30,000. And so in today's market, in the Houston market, the median rehab is around $50,000. So you saw something on the upper end, and now you're seeing something on the lower end as far as rehabs go in today's market.
Yeah. So this one basically, I'd redid the kitchen, redid the bathrooms, flooring, new light fixtures, redid the stairs with like hardwood. I think I put in a new AC as well. Yes, new AC, new water heater. So all the basic things, you know, they teach you all of that, like what all that you need to replace, right? There's a whole formula, and you'll learn that in the 2-day class.
Well, very good. So let's go over the numbers. So
Sure.
it appraised at $285. The purchase price was
188.
yeah, about $100,000 less. The rehab was 37. Cash out of pocket around 31, 32. Rent $2,000 a month, which is on the higher end of what we typically see. Cash flow 386. The median right now is in the 250, 260 range. Cash on cash return 14.6. Equity capture a solid $40,000, over $40,000. So what do you guys think? You guys do a deal like this?
So let me add a little bit. You know, this might, is this, yeah, can you hear me? So this might, it might be a lot of numbers. You may not understand all of it. They'll teach you all of that, like what is equity capture, what is cash on cash return, what is cash flow and all of that. Just to kind of give you so 285 is the appraised value when I bought the house as the after repair value. After I repaired it, you won't believe it, I got a call actually. Somebody was trying to buy the house and they were like, hey, I'm gonna pay you $300,000 for this house. But my plan was to rent it. So I was like, no, I don't wanna accept that offer. So if I wanted, right after I got done with my rehab, I could have flipped it. Of course, Dell doesn't teach you the flipping part, right?
It is
They
the
don't
F
want you
word.
to flip. Yeah. So I could have sold it for $300,000. So my equity capture there would have been what, $55,000 right there. So as of now, if you appraise it again, it might be even more, right? So right now, the equity capture that you see is as of when I bought the house. You know, prices have gone up a little bit. I don't know, if you look on Zillow, it might be like 325, 330, whatever. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, what's exciting is when the interest rate pendulum swings back the other way, what do you think that's going to happen to that price?
Yeah, no, of course it's going to go up. And I mean, the cash flow that he was talking about, this one is $386 per month. You know, this is basically after paying all of my expenses. That is what I take away home at the end of the day each month, $386. Of course, nowadays it's going to be a little lower because interest rates are a little higher, so your cash flow is a little lower, but that's fine. I mean, you can always refinance if you buy a house today.
Right. And the majority of your total return of ownership comes from the equity capture anyway. So that's the big component right there.
Yep.
So, all right.
You guys realize that's 129% gain just by buying.
Yeah, that's good, right?
I mean, how's that compared to the 401k you're in right now? That's 129%. You don't just have one, right?
That's on one, yes.
Yeah, so
a lot more than one.
this is the fun part here. Here's the next slide.
He smiled. Did you guys see that? He smiled. Got a little excited.
Yeah,
So-
look at these numbers here.
So basically, the left annual cash flow is how much annually, you know, I take away home, right? And then on the right is what is equity sitting in the, actually equity capture. It's not equity sitting in the house. Equity sitting in the house would be much more because prices have gone up. This is as of when I bought the property and what equity I captured at that point.
Yeah, it was kind of funny when I was putting the slide together. I was like, hey, these numbers are a little high from what I typically see, and I wanted to make sure that this was equity capture, not total equity. And so even better. It's just
So
amazing.
basically, when you take the 2-day class, you learn that you want to do. Some people may want to get cash flow more, and they don't really care about equity. And some people care more about equity, and they don't care about cash flow. So I'm on the other side. I don't really care about cash flow as much. I want the equity capture because I don't really need the cash flow to run my household. That's something extra. So I'm like, hey, I want to get a property that is going to be 100% or more equity capture. So you make those goals when you take the 2-day class.
Right, and after you join, one of the first things you'll do in the challenge program is have that initial mentor meeting, and we'll help you get the whole context. What are your goals, and how much cash do you have to work with, and does that lead you in a cash flow focus, or is it more equity focus? Or we'll talk through all that and get a great approach for you. So how has Lifestyles changed your life?
Of course, it has changed because you can see that we've earned money with it. Of course, from a family perspective, I have kids. I have 2 kids, and they see that I work on real estate. They ask me questions. Hamza asks me questions all the time. When he's 8 now, but when he was 6, he was like, "Hey, Dad, when are we gonna buy that office building?" Because I was calling people, talking, trying to get work on stuff on real estate. So he knew that, that's something to do. So I think that's a great impact that we have on our family, that, they already know that, we need to build wealth to grow. So I think that's the impact that we have from Lifestyles.
And so what about your short-term and long-term goals?
So they change. So I think last year or the year before, I don't remember, my goal was to become a lead investor in a multifamily. It changed, the goals changed because I got busy with work again. So this year, my goal was to get, a couple of more, 3 or 4 more single family properties. I'm actually a little more careful now because I'm at the 10th mark. And, they'll teach you after you get 10 in your name, Fannie Mae has limitations. So, I'll have to get a higher interest rate and all that, but, they'll teach you all that. But I'm more careful because I want, and the market is shifting as well. And they'll teach you about that as well. But, I'm a little bit more careful in getting a property now, but, maybe I shouldn't be. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. The thing is to have a plan and just make sure that you're executing and staying in action.
Yep.
And not stalling. So you didn't do this in a silo. So
No.
how about a little shout out to whoever?
Yeah. So they'll teach you that you need to have a team in place in terms of who you go to for your lending, your insurance, your I guess your rehab and all that. And they have a great vendor list, right? So I worked with Searchers Capital. Are they on the vendors list?
I believe so.
Okay. So I worked with Searchers Capital. AMP Lending was my refi lender. I worked with Red Door. I don't know if they're still on the vendor list or not.
Yes, they are.
They are. Red Door Funding was the hard money lender, and they'll teach you what's a hard money loan and then what's a conventional loan, how to get out of a hard money and go into a conventional. They'll teach you all that.
Right.
And then Spearhead Insurance Group is the insurance agent that I use, not the carrier, insurance agent that I use.
Yeah, Spearhead's a broker, and they'll shop the market for the best insurance for your property.
Yep.
And for your needs. So very cool. So I'd like to open it up for questions. Are there any questions online?
Not at the moment. We have about 10-second delay. So.
Okay, great. Any questions in the audience? In the back?
So with, how impressive, congratulations. I think it's awesome. I love that you're having your children participate with you because that's,
Thank you.
Really formative for him. But you've been so successful, right? Why would you slow down?
Yeah, that's a great question. Why would I? I've got my own business as well on the side, right? Not on the side, that's my main income. And then I have other things going on as well. So real estate actually has been a part-time thing. It's a matter of switching it over, and you'll see a lot of people talk about that, hey, I replaced my regular income with real estate. So it's a matter of me taking that step and converting that over. So that way I do this full time and then do something else on the side, right? So my goal was to get into multifamily. Last year and the year before, I actually tried to get a couple of them. Things didn't work out in terms of the price that I was asking and all of that. So hopefully I'll get back into that again this year.
Can I ask one more question?
Sure.
Once you join the group, what is the process of like sourcing the deal, right? Because I'm sure that it's a pretty big group, and I would think that it's first come, first serve, or how does that work? How competitive is that? Do you get to see those things, or does it take quite a while?
Sure. So there is, they'll explain to you there are different levels of membership, right? And they'll explain all that. The highest form, the challenge members and the preferred members get to have deals from the agents at Lifestyles. And what they do is they send you an email. They blast an email out to all the members. And it's kind of first come, first serve. And what they teach is that we can't compete against each other, because if we compete against each other, we're going to drive the price up. So we are working as a group here. We're not going to compete against each other. We're an educational group that we're going to work together, right? So whoever is first, you honor that, let them go first. If they pass up on the deal, they have a tagging system where first tag, second tag, third tag, they're all going to go out and look at the deal, look at the house. And if the first tag person says, hey, it doesn't make sense to me for whatever reason, the second tag person gets to go. And then the third person gets to go. And sometimes, it'll go to like fourth and fifth, right? So you basically honor that system and you follow that system. In terms of the blast of the email, they'll email blast out. You reply to that I'm interested. You say, hey, tag me if you like the deal. And the agent will take you from there. I mean, you don't have to get all your deals from Lifestyles. You can do off, Lifestyles deals as well, and they're not going to mind, right? It's not like they want you to only work with Lifestyles agents. Like, for example, one of the properties that I had was, I got it, it wasn't through Lifestyles. It was just, I just got it out, somewhere else. So that's fine too.
Yeah. So multiple ways to find deals. So, but we teach you through all that.
If you want to be really lazy, we're good to help, though.
Yeah, yeah. If
Up in your email box. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
If you're gonna work with a Lifestyles agent, they'll kind of walk you through a lot of it, of course, and then you'll come to your mentor, Doug, or any other mentors, and they'll walk you through, hey, you need to do this at this point. They actually send you an email as well, that here are the steps that you need to take. Once you do one or two, you'll kind of know what to do, right? You're not gonna bother them as much. Not like they get bothered or anything, I don't think so. But, I don't go to him for each and every deal now, but, I'll email him or call him if I have like a one-off question that I never have come across, right? So I'll do that.
Yeah, what's real common is we'll hear from members their first, second property, and then we don't hear from them again until they have issues with their tenant. So, and then it becomes kind of an operational support sort of thing. But once you're up and running, and you just kind of need to get kept between the curbs. But there's lots of resources for you to just keep up to date too. So in the interest of time, I think we need to shut it down and move on to multifamily.
Unless you want to bring the rest of the family up and sleep on the couch.
I don't think so. Hamza, do you want to say anything, or you're good? All right.
All right, I get the last question. What would you tell the new folks in the room?
Join it. Don't be scared. But if you join it, please take action. I have a friend. I brought him here. He signed up, never took action. And then, if you don't take action, you can't blame Lifestyles for it because you didn't take action. So the process is join, learn, and then take action. Massive action. If you don't take massive action and just stay on the sideline and kick the tires and that's it, you're not going to get anywhere.
Awesome.
Right. All right, everyone, give me a hand.
Thank you very much.